Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So I think we're just a few minutes late with the breakout rooms just wrapping up. So we'll get slowly started as everyone joins us with the breakout rooms. So thank you very much for joining us for the second half of day 2. Just a short reminder, we've got some fantastic talks going on across the 2 days. We're almost halfway through. But we continue on with a series of plenaries, short discussions, panels, and of course we'll finish off end of tomorrow. Just again, some brief housekeeping. Discord, the link is here. Email us for any technical problems. We're direct YouTube streaming for the main sessions, and also the recordings we posted online, and indeed actually the recordings for day 1 are already online. So if you've missed anything, if you want to go back, please do. And we'd encourage you to share it with anybody that you think might be interested. Finally, just a microphone, if you could just please, oh, what's it doing there? Please have your microphone switched up when you're not using them. Sorry, I'm not quite sure where that's going. Brilliant. So that brings us to this afternoon session, where we have got some further talks. But first of all, I just want to give a quick recap of what the talks we had this morning for those that may have missed this. So we started with a really fascinating plenary talk from Gentian Venture from the University of Tokyo, really looking at the boundaries and the integration of robots and humans. So this communication that's non-verbal and looking at the theory of emotion and how we can generate kind of theoretical and control-based approaches for robots that can interact with humans in this kind of non-verbal way. So she talked about how we can generate expressive robot control to make users feel more relaxed, active, and how we can exploit the null space, the kinematic redundancy in our systems to provide this expressiveness. She also talked about kind of more reinforcement learning-based approaches for doing some, but how this is really not trivial in the choice of reward function. And also, which I thought was really interesting, talking about this need for robots and technologies that allow humans and robots to interact for longer, which we need for robots to learn how to interact with humans, and this need for kind of slow technologies, which I think was really interesting and also aligns with some of this kind of fast, slow thinking and learning ideas. So how can we actually develop robots where humans and robots can coexist in kind of a slow, long timescale? And one point she really made is that we need robots to go from outside the lab to the wild, to both expose them to humans in real wild settings and also really actually generate this intelligence. And this was something that was also reverberated in the panel discussion and the set of small talks. So just to give you a brief highlight of the short talks, which really had some fantastic discussions. So thank you very much to Yuki to leading these discussions and these talks, because she did a fantastic job. So Yuki started off with really some kind of fundamentals and approaches. And then we talked with Hushang Zhao about the materials intelligence and distributed sensing, and how to progress, we really need to combine mechanical and computational intelligence. Amy Sakes talked about the specific application of these soft medical robots and both introducing intelligence at the actuation level and some of the applications to medical and catheter domains, and had some really interesting insights and novel technologies promoting and using embodied intelligence. Amy Han from SNU really talked about bimanual handling and how we need to exploit the whole body, not just the hands, and also contact and the role of gecko-inspired adhesive. And Shuhei Miyashita finished by giving some fantastic open questions, I think, to all of us related to the key characteristics of life. And he identified that how many definitions there are out there and how varied there are, and talked about his work in robotic metamorphism and some really exciting new work on selective bonding and self-folding to have some kind of fundamental building blocks for intelligence and life. And how can we go from this pathways from bulk materials to sentient life? So fantastic groups of talks, and this led to some really interesting discussions regarding the gaps between EI and computational intelligence, and also how can softness and transformability be at the essence of embodiment. So that really brought together a lot of the themes that had been discussed and led to some really interesting discussions. But obviously we continue on this afternoon So we continue now with our second plenary of the day, after which we're going to then have another set of short talks and panel discussions. Then following a quick coffee break this afternoon, we'll come back for another plenary, and finally a discussion at the end of the day.